Well, giving for me has always been a calling. I truly believe in the requirements God has provided to me, and I've always felt that it's my responsibility to give back to the church. Dutifully, whether you want to call it a tithe or whatever you want to call it, it's a feeling of gratitude and expression that I give back to God for what He's provided to me, and so I give because I've been given.
I think I donate because there's an element of sharing at the church, and I think that's really what it's all about. Sharing your time, sharing your finances, sharing any resources you can have, and sort of putting it towards a greater good. When I remember the initial meeting when they had to talk about could we sponsor a refugee family at Christ Church, I remember almost being overwhelmed by the amount of things they were bringing up and the different paperwork that had to be done, the resources that would be needed, the money that would be needed, the time that people would do, and yet somehow we all came together and were able to do it. And people were able to put in their time and make it happen. And that was, it was an inspiring time because you see that when a bunch of people put their minds together and put their resources together that they can make things happen.
It's actually been a very rewarding experience helping the Alramadians integrate to Canada. Obviously not knowing what it was going to be like, but obviously a family desperately in need. And the act of giving to them has been extremely rewarding because they've, through giving, we've grown through I guess, a strong relationship with the family to the point of a very close friendship and a bondship that wasn't there before. So they've added immensely to my life and my wife's life in terms of the relationships that we've been able to foster with them, and it's through the act of charity of giving to them has enriched us immensely in ways that I can't even count.
I think sometimes there's elements like music which require a lot of resources, and well, I think, for example, band camp brought a music camp experience to a lot of kids who wouldn't have otherwise had that experience. Just the idea of being able to come in and learn to play an instrument in 2 weeks, and just you see how a kid's confidence changes over that time when they can just learn to play an instrument, and how much they enjoy being part of a band and part of a group that we all sort of work together for this goal of doing a band camp concert, and in the end, be able to play a bunch of songs and fill a night's concert, and just how happy the kids look after doing that. It's it can be quite exciting.
Well, culturally, they've got certainly different types of food that they've been able to share with us. Ali is a phenomenal cook. Through her gifts and her talents, have been able to share her a wide abundance of types of food that we hadn't really been exposed to. They're very delicious. We've had a number of items where we've taken them to different events, African Lion Safari, the CNE, to the park, and it's the funny events. It's just the joy of being together and enjoying each other's company, I think, has been great.
I was helping with band camp the one year, and there was one boy who was constantly taking off his shoes, and I remember, wondering why he was always taking off his shoes. And then Evan said to me, he said, "Well, Dad, I don't think his shoes fit right." And I realized that programs like band camp that could help kids like that, is a great thing.